Hey there, terrific teachers and techies out there. Today I want to take you through a little intro into Flipgrid. So, Flipgrid, you can kind of think of it as three sort of sections. One is called your grids, and I like to think of these as your themes, your main areas of what you're going to create in Flipgrid. Then within each grid, you could have different topics. So, for example, I have a few grids already done here. So, I could have one called science, and then within science, have it for something specific like habitats or the solar system or whatever it might be, or even something general like exit ticket or reflection response, whatever you want to call it. And the last part is where you get into the student side of things and they can respond to your Flipgrids. So I'm going to kind of just go through the intro here. There's a lot of different things you can do in Flipgrid. I might touch upon some of them here, but won't get into all the ins and outs. So I'm just logged into Flipgrid right here, right now. And as I said, grid is sort of like your main topic or subject area, whatever your theme. So I'm just going to go in here and create a new grid. So the first thing you have to do is you have to name your grid. So I can give it a name. Let's say it's going to be math, broad subject. You have three options here of how you want students to access your Flipgrid. So first one here is school email. So in this case, you need to have students joining through Microsoft, or in our case, most likely, Google School Email. So if you click that and you hit next, as you see, I have indicated that anybody with an @gnespes.ca email can access the Flipgrid. I can still put things on like passwords, and you do need a code and a link to get to the Flipgrid, but this just allows me to say that students would need this email to access that. So that's one way. The second one here, I have never really used this because it says student ID. And with that, you need to upload all your students in this format: name, first name, last name, student ID individually, or you can upload in spreadsheet to do it that way. I've never done it that way, simply because I kind of like to put in the student's hands to do that. And the last one is a little bit open. So the educator learning community, they call it. I can click that. As you see, it gives a link to my Flipgrid, and students would just click on that link that's generated. They would just sign in and they would be able to access my Flipgrid. Now that one does leave it a little bit open, so potentially anybody who had this link could access my Flipgrid. But like I did mention, you can put passwords on, things like that. So uh, usually these first option, school email, or through this option here, is what I use with students. So I'll just stick with this one here. I'll hit next. And you see, okay, it's still, there's my @genespes.ca. It's saying here I need a Microsoft or Google account. I can add multiple domains if we had other domains in there, um, and any other ones that I would add in there. So I'm just going to hit next. And then there, it's my grid is ready. This is just my main sort of theme. Okay, and you notice I have a few options where I could do it with this. I could embed the code somewheres. I could copy and paste this link. This is Microsoft Teams. This is sharing to Google Classroom, which is probably one of the more common ways teachers are using this with their students. And then if anyone is using Remind, that's another option there. So now I'm going to go to my grid. So now in my grid, I'm going to create a topic. And you'll probably notice in here, anytime you create a grid, there's a default topic called Say Hello on Flipgrid, which is kind of like a little intro, I guess, in some ways. Um, you can look at it, decide you want it, delete it. It's really up to you. It's just one that sort of automatically pops in there. But I'm going to go in here and add a new topic. So math is my main sort of theme here. And I'm going to go in here to add topic. So in here in my add topic, I have to give my topic a title. So maybe I'm going to call this math in everyday life. All right, so you have to give it a title. This one here, there's a prompt. So you have to put in a question. What is it exactly you want your students to do? So in this case, I'm going to say, share some examples of math in everyday life. Okay. So that's what I have there. Then you come down here and you can see you have 1,000 character count here. So you can really be more specific. You can put links in here as well. So if I wanted to link something into this, I could do that as well. So yeah, you could add a whole lot more than I'm just showing you here now. Then you have a recording time. So you have to indicate a recording time and go from there as to 15 seconds to 10 minutes. So just think of this as your maximum time your students will have to record or whatever they're going to sort of send back to you. I always like to go on the side of caution. So sometimes I do put 10 minutes, but really it might only be a minute response just in case you do get a student um, that maybe goes over a little bit. I mean, sometimes you're generally safe with 5 minutes or 3 minutes. So it's really up to you. You know your students, what sort of prompt you're giving them that they have to respond to. Uh, just keep in mind they have to go within that time limit that you have here. So I'll just leave it for 10, but like I said, you could put anything you want in there. And this is a feature that's been around, but now it's on the main setup page, which is great. And this is video moderation. So it says if moderated, videos will be hidden from students until you activate them. So because in Flipgrid, students could view other student videos or respond to other student videos, it's up to you. If you don't have this on, that means when they post a video or a response, whether they're sharing their screen, and we'll kind of look at the different ways they can respond to you, that'll be posted right away within that Flipgrid topic. This one here, if I turn it on, that means I have to see it and approve it first before it's sort of released to everybody in our Flipgrid, so to all the other students. So it's really up to you. If you're new to Flipgrid, you might want to start with that just so you're sort of vetting some of the stuff that's being submitted to you. But it's what you're comfortable with. So I'm going to leave that on right now. Then down here, this is an optional area. It's what do you want to sort of add? So I do have a little written prompt here. Okay. But maybe I want to record myself explaining a little bit. So I could record a video of myself saying, what exactly I'm looking for from my students. You can, as you see here, there's Google. You can add links, or if you have a doc, a slide, a form, anything from your Google Drive, you can add in there as well. You do have to enter it as a link. Okay, so if you are taking something from your drive, make sure you have the share settings set up for that so students will be able to view that. You can do a whole bunch of things here, add emojis and different apps here as well. So I'm just going to leave that off for now. But like I said, you could record a video and just yourself. So when your students come to this, they would watch a video. And sometimes it's nice to add that sort of verbal explanation in here, some cues, verbal cues, instead of just having the text here as well. But there is an immersive reader, which we'll see on the student side as well. So if I'm done, I do have a few more options down here. Okay, so there is you can help your students with a topic tip. You can allow them. You can have some attachments you want to put in here. So lots of things that you can put in there. So if it's websites, whatever it might be, you want to put in their YouTube videos, things like that. So I'm going to go in there to create topic. And now here it says my topic is ready. So I'm all set. Once that loads up there we go. Okay, so now what would happen is, let's say a student, let's say we're going to have a student go in and see this, and they were going to respond to this. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my grids here. And this is the math one. So if I had posted this in Classroom, wherever it might be, the student would view this topic here now. So I'm going to click on view. So you can imagine just pretending I'm on the student side of things here. So once that loads up, so the student would be prompted to log in, even if I had this posted in Google Classroom. So I'm going to log in with Google. And if you recall, I had the @gnsps.ca as the only email accounts that are able to activate this grid. So as you see, I am in the student side of things now. So here was the main grid here, math. Here was the topic within that, math in everyday life. Right here, it says to share some examples of math life. That's the prompt I put in there. If I had a video prompt, that would show up here as well, so the student could play that and hear that back. I did mention here is an immersive reader. So if the student clicks on that, it will take them to the screen here where the text would pop up on that screen. Now, because I'm recording and using my mic, I'm not sure if the audio will come in, but I will hit play anyways. Now, on my end, it did play. I'm not sure if you're able to hear that back when this recording is done, but I'll just hit the back arrow. So that's what that does there. So now the student would come onto this screen and they are going to record a response. So recording a response is probably one of the more common ways students reply within Flipgrid, but it's not the only way. So you have a few options for the students here of what they can do. So as you see, I'm on my screen here. I could just simply right now click record and record a response to that prompt, which was give me some examples of math in everyday life. But you do have some other options here. So there are some fun filters that students could play around with. They could add text. So I could record myself and at the same time have text on the screen as well. If you didn't want students or students didn't like being on screen per se, it's really what they're saying that's important. They could cover up their camera, they could put a sticker as you see here and cover up my face, whatever works for you. They can draw in here. They can pop up a board, so they can pop up a whiteboard and a blackboard, and they could uh, draw something, write something, record themselves talking at the same time, so they can annotate over things or put images up. So there are a few other options down here that they could upload things into this space. In here, there are some video options. So now you can screen record. That's a newer option in Flipgrid. You can add other video clips as well. So lots of different things you can do. This one here shows the topic. So when the student gets to this screen, if they forgot what exactly they're supposed to be talking about, they can click on that and then that prompt comes back up. And then you can add sticky notes in here as well. So lots of things you can do in here. So I'm just going to do a quick little record here. Again, I am recording on the screencast with my mic and recording through Flipgrid, so I'm not sure how the voice will sound, but I'll hit record here. You get a little prompt. The student could play that clip back, they can edit it, they could add more recording if they wanted to. If they're satisfied with what's there, they would just hit next again. Here is just sort of a selfie. So this just was going to show up on the Flipgrid screen that the teacher will see. And then, if you do open up the students, what they will see, you can take a quick selfie and it'll take a picture there. I'm just going to hit next. And the last step here for the student, he says, don't close the window, what your display name will be. So the student can change that. You can put a little title in here if you had any link of something else is there as well. And then once they're done, they're just going to simply submit the video. So again, remember, this is just posted for this teacher who, in this case, I would be moderating it. So I would watch the video. If it's okay, I can release it to the class, and then other classmates, as they respond, could see other videos, reply to them if you have, depends on all your settings, how you have that set up. So just wanted to share with you here, this is sort of a intro to Flipgrid, getting started. Anytime you have questions, please reach out, and hopefully this video will get you started on Flipgrid before we jump into some of the more settings we could do with Flipgrid.